Now, moving on to the final segment of the video, I've prepared a couple of common questions I believe a lot of you guys might have. So I'm going to try and answer them to the best of my ability. Firstly, do I need to flip the bonus bets? The answer is yes. Simply because if you were to gamble the bonus bets, there is mathematically no way that you can guarantee yourself a return unless you flip them. Now, why is it important for us to get a guaranteed return? Is because when we bet and we get a bonus back, if you gamble them, there's a chance that you lose your entire stake. So, as I said earlier on in the documents, that there's three possible outcomes: a win, a bonus back, and a loss. But if you gamble your bonus bet, essentially you are taking away the possibility of a bonus back and turning that into a loss. And so, mathematically speaking, since most of our bets are at two odds, we will win 50% of our bets long term. And with the other 50%, the edge comes when we guarantee ourselves a return instead of losing our entire stake. But if you gamble them, there's a chance that you lose your entire stake. So essentially, what will happen is you win 50% of your bets and the other 50% you lose. And at two odds, eventually you will break even. That's just how it is. So instead of profiting, you will break even at the end of it. Now, moving on to the second question, how does Betfair work and do I need it? So Betfair is an exchange. For those of you guys that don't know how an exchange works, it's pretty much where you place a bet and your bet has to be matched by somebody else. Now, in the most simple terms, when you place a bet on a bookmaker such as Sportsbet, Tab, Bet365, it's you against the bookmaker. But on Betfair, it's you versus somebody else. Now, what does that mean is if there's a game in the AFL, Carlton versus Collingwood, and I place a bet on Carlton at two odds to win, somebody has to place a bet on Carlton at two odds to lose. And that's how the bet gets matched, which is important as that's what I had shown in the back end laying part. And Betfair don't ban you because they work on a commission basis, which is they take about 5 to 10% commission per trade, and therefore they don't actually care if you win or lose long term. With a bookmaker, however, since I told that it's you versus the bookmaker, if you do constantly beat them, they do end up banning you. Now, to the second part of the same question, do you need it? The answer is no, but it sure helps. Simply because when you flip bonus bets, you will get the highest returns in most cases using Betfair as opposed to using another bookmaker. Also, if you constantly withdraw money from your bookmaker, because if you have to flip from Sportsbet to Tab, one of them has to end up winning. And what then ends up happening is if you do it for a sports team and the non-favorite does win, you might have a lot of money coming from one bookmaker to the next. And unless you have sufficient capital to keep that going, you will eventually have to withdraw from one of the bookmakers and eventually you will get your account banned. So my word of advice would be that get Betfair and see how it works, see if it is for you, and then you can probably make a more educated final decision based on your circumstances. What do you normally flip on? A lot of people ask me this. I typically flip on the sports. I don't like the horses simply because of how quickly the price moves, as illustrated in the example that I had shown you. And also because I believe, and I know that mathematically it makes no sense, but I feel a horse that is paying between 4 and 8 odds has a much higher chance of taking the win as compared to a team that is paying between 4 to 8 odds. I don't know if there's any certain research to back what I say. I know mathematically a 4 odd horse and a 4 odd team have the exact same chances, but I just feel that typically teams that are paying that high odds don't get up. This is not to say that they will never, but I feel like it's more of a rarity than a normality. Do I need to follow exactly what you have done? No, this video is a guide. It's not rules set in stone. I don't claim to know everything. I'm just sharing what I do know. There's probably some of you guys out there who end up watching this video and think, wow, he's an idiot. Probably. It's just something what I have done. and what I continue to do. And it's just more of a guide for you guys to understand the basics of Betfair, of backing and laying, of using calculators to assist you. So I would just say that you can use it as a guide, see how things work, and that's why I keep saying, like, just play around with it you yourself, see what works for you, see what doesn't. For example, going back to the last question, I said I don't like to flip on the horses. Maybe you guys do. Maybe you guys think of flipping on two or three horses within the same race. I typically wouldn't do that, but maybe you guys like it more. Maybe you guys understand horses a lot more than I do. So at the end of the day, it's just what works for you. Can I back and lay on sports? Yes. Um, the reason why I didn't show backing and laying on sports is because I showed it on horses and I showed you backing on sports. You can back and lay these same teams. So the way that it will work is you place the bonus bet on the non-favorite and then you lay them on Betfair. So I just showed you the basics behind it. Use a calculator in input the odds. If you're happy enough with the return, then you can carry on with it. What if I have more doubts? Guys, undoubtedly, you guys probably will. This is a very short guide. So what you guys can do is either leave a comment under this YouTube video, or you can DM me on Facebook, on Discord. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. Just on a side note, guys, since you guys know that my group is going to become paid on the 1st of June, I would advise you guys to first completely understand what we do and then pay. I know that the amount is not big, I'm not charging much at all, but don't pay me just because you see everyone else making money. I will certainly recommend you first completely understand everything in terms of accounts, sustainability, backing and laying, Betfair, how to place the bets, what to do, what to avoid. And once you have a complete understanding, then probably you could come along and then pay for the group. But firstly, it's always important to understand what you're buying, and unless you're completely sure, please don't purchase the product. And I think that will conclude the entire video. I would like to thank you guys for watching. I hope I've been helpful. If I did sound well or if I did stutter or stop somewhere, I do apologize. I'm not doing quite well in terms of my overall health. I've fallen sick. I think a few of you guys know. But I hope that I've been of some sort of help to you guys. And hopefully, in the next couple of videos, I can possibly do a lot better than I have on this one. Thank you very much.